So I think that what I find frustrating is that we've got so much amazing tech, and I feel like the pressure to make it into a smaller camera has almost made them sacrifice something that we take for granted these days. Like every camera, maybe except for the one you bought today, has amazing IBIS, and we shoot to IBIS now. Like we've almost all so used to it, we assume there's an element of that in your camera. The moment it's switched off, you're like, oh my God, I'm rooted. And it kind of goes back to like what Bruce said before. He asked if I bought an FX6, and I was like, that is actually on my shopping list, except it's got no IBIS, and I do a lot of run and gun. So the FX3 would make way more sense, even knowing it's not, you know, got all the other bells and whistles. So,
Matt, who do you think the camera is actually for? Putting aside,
I think the camera.
Putting aside cost, let's put aside cost.
Yeah, I think that I hate to say it because I really love the Fuji system and I love their GFX. Like I would much quicker buy a GFX and a lens, but this particular camera, I feel in my heart of hearts, is for people who are fanboys or fangirls who need to have the latest tech. And I feel like what's going to happen with all the feedback, because I've not read any review that doesn't have a similar vein to it. I think the GFX100RF Mark II is going to be incredible. I think that it's going to be the public pressure on this is going to make them put IBIS in it, because you can't shoot 102 megapixels without it. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It's so unforgiving that it's almost like, why give us the ability to recrop a shot for forgiveness when you can't get a shot sharp in the first place if it's in any remotely difficult situation? I just feel like
go on, Justin, and then I've got a question.
Just quickly, like when we shifted to the D850s, which were DSLRs, no IBIS, no IBIS in those, no IBIS. We consciously ended up shooting our minimum, unless we were super steady and had something planned and we really been careful, our minimum shutter speed was 1/320th. We know if we're sort of moving around doing something on a commercial job or something like that, at a 3/20th, we can get a 45 megapixel file sharp with a non-stabilized lens, because we're shooting some with primes and stuff like that didn't have optical image stabilization. And when I moved from like a D5 or D4 or whatever it was, to a D850, it was, and D750s and stuff. We consciously, we would often shoot at maybe 250th or 200th. It was like, no, we're at a 3/20th now. And that was on, a 45 megapixel sensor. I can only imagine that being closer to 400, 500 for what you're talking about, which is critical sharpness, which is what you want if you're buying a 100 megapixel sensor. I heard you say that specifically, like you can get it sharp enough. Like we can accept less sharpness, but why bother doing that on a 100 megapixel sensor? Like you say, then you might as well just get the X100.
What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah. And that was the frustrating thing to me, is with like,